So this is our second slit scan exercise with the TouchDesigner, and also related to the notion of time using TouchDesigner. And as usual, I prepare the environment first. So this is the project folder. And again, I'm using the video device in rather the other movie file in. And I also flip it horizontally to have the mirror effect. And the next step is we are going to create the slit scan effect that one particular scan line from your video will kind of moving across the screen horizontally, and at different points of time, that is when the scan line move, actually is sampling the image at different point of time. So in this case, what we are going to do first is to sample that vertical scan line from the video device image. So the command we're going to use will be a cropped. And it's again up to you which vertical line that you are going to crop from the original video. So usually I will crop from the center, that is from the center of your video. So that means the left and right will be again exactly in the center, in the middle of the screen. That will be like 0.5, and then the right will also be 0.5. So after the sampling, you can see the result will be one particular line that with the width of 1 pixel. And the second step is we try to animate this particular scan line across the screen, and at different points of time is kind of sampling the latest image from the video. So what I'm going to use, I connect this to a command we call the corner pin. And the use of corner pin, actually you can copy this particular single lines of pixel image and then paste it into different location of the destination. At the destination, we would like to have the standard resolution of the 1280 by 720. So in this case, I change the resolution of this one to our custom resolution first, and then the aspect ratio is using the final resolution. That will be something like this. And for this one, is actually similar to what we have done in the very beginning of the class, that we use and cropped in order to produce this kind of color bar exercise. But for this one, we're not going to create the identical color bar exercise for the whole spectrum of your image. What we would like to do is extracting this single line of pixel and then pin it into different location, and that location will be moving, animating from the left to the right margins. So in order to illustrate, I try to use, for example, this width of this image is 1280, and then we try to move from the 0, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 up to 1279. So in this case, I will prefer to use the unit in pixel rather than 0 to 1. So the next step is we try to animate those numbers with the left and right such that they are moving from left to right continuously. And the techniques we're going to use, actually we have done it before, is the chop. We're going to use a bit to keep the counting from 0 to 1. And in order to have the purposely scan effect running continuously, usually we need to slow down the speed a lot. So I changed the period to 60 in order to make it very slow. And as we are using the number of pixels, so we're going to convert the range of this one from 0 to 1 up to the width of the display. So we are going to change the range to here, 1 to x0. So that is the thing that we would like to do. And you also notice that will return decimal number, so you can also disable the decimal number by having the integer taking the floor command. That means we truncate the decimal number, so that number will convert to what we call, I add a note here, that is the left margin. So I also label it as the left margin. And what about the right margin? So right margin usually is 1 plus the left margin. So in this case we add another mask from here and just plus 1 over here. So now that one will be right. So I also label it right to indicate. So now we have these two moving number, so we are ready to copy it to the pin location. So we need to turn on the viewer active for each one of them before we drag them there. So this one will go to the left, and we have actually two left here, so we have another one, and then that one will go to the right. So this is the right, and then this is also the right. Okay, so you now see something like this. So that is a scan line moving from left to right across your screen. And as a practice, you can also put a null over here to create a buffer for this one. And how can we create those continuous scan line and then stitch them together? So the answer is pretty straightforward. We need to have a feedback, and we use the feedback in order to have an accumulation of those scan lines across the screen. And you can create this feedback effect by yourself, or you can simply use the predefined one in the palette browser. In the image filter, there's one called feedback as well. So that's the banana, so we can just drag it around here and then connect your null to your feedback component, and then the feedback component will finally go to your output window. So if you take a look at this one, you see some sort of feedback effect, but there's some kind of like the motion blur in this case, because the opacity for that one is less than 1. So in order to achieve a better result, so we can change a few parameters. It's actually one parameter for the feedback, that is the opacity. So we change it to 1, completely opaque, in a sense that when you change this one, actually you can see from your screen that you create this beautifully generated slit gain effect from your video camera, that is from your webcam in front of you. Okay, to finish it up, I also repeat those steps that we have done quite a lot of time to make it full screen without the border. And then going back to the project one window and turn on the perform mode, so that will be the final slit scan result. So that had, and a lot of artists and designers have been using this type of technique to create the artwork, and both photography or other design work for CD cover or poster as well. So this is a very funny and pretty straightforward way to create this form of and distorted image in front of your camera. Okay,